Welcome, everyone. Recognition, this is to advise those present at this meeting of the Board of Education of Pinelands Regional School District in the County of Ocean that adequate notice of this meeting was provided in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act. The notice has been posted on the Pinelands Regional School District's website, in the Board of Education office, at junior high school and high school buildings. The notice was also filed with the municipal clerks of Bass River Township, Eagleswood Township, Little Lake Harbor Township, and the Borough of Tuckerton. May I please have a roll call?
Sure. Ms. Betty?
Here.
Ms. Grasso?
Yes. Here.
Mr. Hewitt?
Here.
Ms. Johnson?
Here.
Ms. Patty Martin?
Here.
Mrs. McVeigh?
Here.
Mr. Vox?
Here.
Ms. Crystal Martin? Here. Mr. Dalio?
Here.
We are in session.
Approval of minutes. Recommend motion to approve the following minutes. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
And this is for March 2nd, regular minutes and executive minutes. Roll call.
Ms. Betty?
Yes.
Ms. Grasso? Mr. Hewitt?
Yes to regular, abstain from executive.
Noted. Ms. Johnson?
Recuse from executive, regular, yes.
Ms. Patty Martin?
Yes.
Mrs. McVeigh?
Yes.
Mr. Vox?
Yes.
Ms. Crystal Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Dalio?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Moving on to reports. Student representative report. Elena Irvin, junior high school.
Good evening. The past few months at Pinelands Regional Junior High School have held many fun events, and we are excited to share them with you, along with things we look forward to in the near future.
To start, I would like to congratulate our Students of the Month for both January and February. 7th graders Dylan Kushner and Mila Houston and 8th graders Jaden Walton and Ariana H. have displayed respect and responsibility. Thank you for being great role models.
Congratulations to all winter sport athletes on an amazing season. A special shout out to the 7-8 girls basketball team for earning OCIAL White Division champions with a final record of 13-1. Girls and boys basketball both sent their top 2 players to represent our school in Ocean County's All-Star Games on February 3rd. Congratulations to Elena Irvin, Alexa Bonds, Colton Taylor, and LaDon Carter.
The JHS SBYS hosted their first annual Winter Wonderland dance on Friday, February 6th. Thank you to all students and staff who made it possible.
March 14th marked the final performance of Pinelands Thespians' production of Carrie the Musical. Great job to all of our junior high and high school thespians for putting on yet another amazing show.
On March 5th, the New Jersey School Boards Association hosted the 2026 8th grade dialogue event, where one student from each school district got to represent their junior high school by sharing their middle school experiences. Thank you to Amelia Busby for representing Pinelands.
The junior high PE department hosted their annual knockout tournament to celebrate the start of March Madness. Students who won knockout in their gym periods got to compete with other winners in the final tournament on March 19th. Congratulations to our winners, Elena Irvin and Thomas Keller.
Looking ahead, students and staff can look forward to our annual Buckets and Badges basketball game this Friday, March 27th. This event is sure to be filled with fun and good spirits. In addition, various junior high clubs have been turned up to collect donations for David's Dream and Believe Cancer Foundation. Items will be collected at junior high until March 30th. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And from the high school, we have Liam Witherup.
Good evening, board members of the Board of Education and Superintendent. My name is Liam Witherup, and I'm filling in for Katie tonight while she is away on the senior trip. The senior class has been busy preparing for their upcoming class trip, celebrating with the Disney-themed Spirit Week. Students participated in themed days like Marvel Monday, Chip and Dale Twin Day, Ears Day, Heroes vs. Villains, and Class Trip T-shirt Day. We're excited to share that the seniors class landed safely this morning and has officially begun their Disney trip. We hope all of our seniors have an amazing time, and we look forward to hearing about their experience when they return. Our FBLA students recently competed at the State Leadership Conference in Atlantic City. We are proud to share that Liam Witherup earned top honors in the Central Conference for Real Estate, and Isabel Russo placed first in the state for advertising. The Yearbook Club hosted the Senior Prom Fashion Show on February 20th with around 80 seniors modeling both casual and formal wear from local vendors. It was a great event that helped build excitement for prom, and we're looking forward to seeing everyone dressed up for that big night. Last week, Special Olympics ran a school-wide Spirit Week to promote awareness and inclusion with theme days like Mismatched Socks, Superhero Day, Tie-Dye Day, Pajama Day, and Wildcat Spirit Day. There will be also a Jersey Mike's fundraiser this Wednesday to support Special Olympics New Jersey athletes. Our winter sports season was full of success. Several basketball players received all conference honors, and we are especially proud of the boys basketball team for making school history by winning their first divisional championship and finishing the season with a 16-8 record. The Pinelands Thespians delivered an outstanding performance of Carrie over the past 2 weekends, with a strong attendance and incredible talent on display. In addition, members of the Casta Puffs performed at the New Jersey School Boards Association Women's Leadership Conference and received a standing ovation. In academics, Mr. Sink has been working closely with our freshmen to strengthen their research skills through database training, collaborating with the English department to support student success. Juniors and select underclassmen also had the opportunity to experience a live performance of Macbeth by the Shakespeare Theater of New Jersey, followed by a Q&A session with the actors. As we transition into spring, our athletic programs are gearing up for the new season, including softball, baseball, track, lacrosse, tennis, and golf, and volleyball. Our athletes have been working hard in preparation for their upcoming competitions. Our student classes continue to stay actively involved. Senior class officers are preparing for prom and planning to relaunch their Paw Print fundraiser. Juniors are organizing for their Rio Carnival themed prom and will be hosting a bake sale at the end of March. Sophomores recently hosted a successful spaghetti dinner fundraiser during the opening night of Carrie. Freshman class officers are building leadership skills, increasing communication through social media, and planning future fundraising event efforts and a potential spring event. Thank you for your continued support of our students and school community.
Thank you, Liam. Now moving on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you. I have one thing, but before I do, I'm going to introduce Mr. Marucci, or Coach Marucci, to come up and introduce the 7-8 girls basketball team.
So just wrote a quick little blurb. The girls were quite amazing this year. All season, if somebody asked me about them, my response was always something positive. Most of the time, they assumed I was talking about performances on the court, but most of the time, I was referring to the people that they are. I would endlessly ramble on about, out of pure excitement about their sportsmanship, eagerness to be good teammates, and their natural instincts to carry themselves with pride and humility. The girls showed a perfect balance between becoming victorious at all costs and just having a great time with friends. Their personalities blended better than I could have ever imagined. Throughout this season, we went through a lot of highs and lows. We beat some really excellent teams. We finished 13-1, almost had that undefeated record. And we became division champions for the first time in well before I started coaching for them. We also went through some lows. A lot of our teammates went through some individual hardships in their lives. The way they came together to help each other, their support, their care for each other, I really think that was one of the main reasons we had so much success this year. They were truly something special. They're a group that only comes around maybe once every few generations. I believe if they continue to work hard and stick together, they have the potential to be one of the greatest teams Pinelands has ever seen. I feel very grateful and proud to have been able to coach this group, and I'm excited to witness all the future success that they have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Saunders with the Humanities Club.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of myself, my friend and colleague, Mr. Neil Saunders, late last year we founded We found it very much beneficial to create a humanities club for the students over at the high school. We thought it was something that would greatly benefit a large variety of different students, and we've been very, very happy with the result since. We have a very small presentation prepared for you, which I would like to hand over the mic to our Vice President, Isabella Russo.
Hi, so my name is Isabella Russo, and I am the very first Vice President of the very first Pinelands Humanities Club. As the President, I would love to speak on behalf of our members and take this opportunity to update you on our recent accomplishments. For anyone unfamiliar with the Humanities Club, the organization aims to foster a vibrant, inclusive space for students to explore the rich tapestry of human thought, creativity, and culture. By fostering an appreciation for literature, history, philosophy, art, and social sciences, the club will empower students to think critically, communicate efficiently, and engage meaningfully with the world around them. This past fall, we presented a lecture on the evolution of citizenship and worked towards completing a scholarly journal. We are thrilled to announce that this journal is finally finished and share with you our first ever edition of Echoes in the Pines, Volume 1, Issue 1. This publication is a platform for student voices filled with poetry, short stories, photography, analyses, and artistic reflections. We hope you find its content as electrifying and intriguing as we found the process of bringing it to you. Thank you for your continued support.
I just have one more thing, and then if we want to get maybe a photo with the team, and if you want any other photos, we can do it at that time. Pinelands was selected as one of only 3 districts in New Jersey to receive the New Jersey Pathways to Post-Secondary Success Grant, which focuses on enhancing postgraduate transition services for students in special education and connecting them with supports that promote meaningful employment. Through this grant, the district collaborates with advisors from the New Jersey Department of Education and the Boggs Center at Rutgers University. After completing an intensive multi-agency training at the DOE in Trenton, the grant team delivered department-wide professional development, becoming the first participating district to do so. With guidance from its advisory team, Pinelands has hosted community networking events, parent workshops, and is planning to reverse job fair to highlight student strengths. The district has been widely praised for its strong existing supports and collaborative approach with families during the transition process, and was recently invited to the Boggs Center to assist other school districts developing their transition programs. We're super proud of that. So I don't know if we want to have a picture with the team, or? Thank you. No, they can. Do you want to get,
You want to get a photo? Photo op.
want a photo
You
with the
can
team?
come right up here.
Where's? Yeah, Phil, could you grab a photo?
Crystal, if you want to go up. I'm fine. Go right ahead. Now, we'll be going on to presentations, our budget, in our budget presentation. If you want to cut out now, you can.
Well, can we take a picture with Isabella in the first ever picture? Isabella,
Who is she?
do you want to take a picture with the two, Mr. Saunders and Mr. DeFrancia, with your first edition?
They already left.
Oh, all right, well then you just come up. Yeah, you're the first ever first edition.
And Mr. DeFranco is there too. There you go.
Yes, it is. All right, now we're moving on to presentations. We have an audit presentation presented by Holman Frenina Allison.
Hi, good evening. I'll keep this short and sweet. My name is Kristen Hook. I'm with Holman Frenina Allison. I was the supervisor on the audit this year. I just want to start by explaining why the audit was issued so late this year. Due to delays of the release of some state and pension reports that are required to be a part of the financial statements, as well as the federal compliance supplement, the state extended the deadline to January 15th, for which the audit was issued by. So first, I'd just like to bring to your attention the letter of transmittal and the management discussion analysis. Those can be found on pages 1 and 21, respectively. These two documents are prepared by management in conjunction with us to present information in the financial statements for a more concise and easier way to understand. Next, on page 15, you'll find the independent auditor's report. Here you'll see that the district was awarded an unmodified opinion. That's the best opinion we can give. It basically states that the financial statements are fairly stated in all material specs as of June 30th, 2025. There is an additional paragraph that's not typically on there. That's our change in accounting principle. The state implemented a new standard that was required to be implemented in the financial statements. It changes the way in which employees' accrued time is calculated on your long-term liabilities. So due to that, a prior period adjustment, restatement, was required. And I just want to emphasize all districts in the state were required to do this. It was nothing the district did. Next, on page 101, at the bottom of your C1, that's the breakdown of your fund balance. Out of the total 5.9 billion fund balance that the district has, 1.4 million is in the capital reserve, 780,000 is reserved in your maintenance, approximately just over $1 million is excess surplus that is going to be utilized in your 26-27 budget. We have 1.3 million that is currently being utilized in your 25-26 budget, 27,000 in unemployment, 415,000 in your year-end encumbrances, and 917,000 in unassigned. And last, I'm going to bring it all the way to the end of the report, which is our single audit. It's about page 191. Due to the fact that the district expended in excess of $750,000 in both state and federal funds, we're required to do an additional layer of testing on specific compliance requirements put forth by the granting agencies. So this year for federal, we tested your Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, and for state, we tested your state aid public. Again, you have an unmodified opinion. The school district complied in all material respects with the types of compliance requirements that have a direct and material effect on each of its state and federal programs for the year ended. There was one deficiency that we had to bring up. The district did not realize 100% of the budgeted semi-revenue, which is a requirement of your state aid public. So the school district, we just recommend that the school district review some procedures and implement some new things to try and maximize that participation in the semi-revenue. That's all I have. I just want to say thank you to Amanda and her team for all the courtesies that they extend us. The audit process is not a light one, it's a lot, so we appreciate everything that they do for us. Thank you. And I'm happy to answer any questions if there are.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Moving on now, we're going to be doing the proposed budget, updated and presented by Amanda Miller.
All right, I feel like this comes very quickly every year, but we've been working very hard. We have, okay, the budget committee consisted of Mr. Dalio, Ms. Crystal Martin, Mr. Hewitt, and Mrs. McVeigh. We met several times. We had some very in-depth conversations. I wanted to thank them for their support and their input. It was not an easy year, and every year it's getting more and more difficult. I wanted to thank Dr. McCooley and the administrative teams for collaborating with us to make this budget work. Again, we spent multiple hours working on it, and I think that we've developed a budget that is the best for the school and for the taxpayers. I wanted to go over our state aid numbers. We did get a 6% increase in our state aid numbers for this year. The state put in a cap on state aid increases up to 6%, so we did get the full amount. So we were very fortunate. We got increased in every category. The tax levy incentive is that thing that they give us last year. For if we went above the 2%, the state kicked in a percentage of that. That wasn't something that was going to continue every year. I did want to include that, but it's not something that's going forward. Some of the challenges for this budget, we've had some changes in our transportation costs. Historically, we've tiered our transportation with all of our sending districts. That model was very efficient, and it saved us money and all the other districts money. That model is not going to be continuing for next year. So our transportation costs are going to be significantly higher next year. Oh, sorry. Our healthcare costs, this is a statewide issue. It's not just a Pinelands issue. Thankfully, we are in a group insurance plan that is not as bad as the state insurance plan. I think those percentages are usually in the 30 range. Our increase this year is 16%, where in previous years, I know last year was 8%. Like we're all seeing in our personal lives, our utilities costs are going up. We have been trying to implement new programs to try to save on the utility costs. Our general insurance is increasing significantly this year, and also our legal fees. I wanted to go through some of the impacts just on a light level of what the budget will look like for next year. The start times for the high school and junior high will change. This is to become more efficient with ourselves. Previously, we would tier with our elementary school districts, and now we have to tier with ourselves. Thankfully, our provider, Durham, has graciously agreed to renew our routes at the CPI, and the CPI is a state-set consumer price index that the district and the contractor can renew at. And if we had just gone with the same model as last year, our increase would have been about $76,000 approximately. Unfortunately, next year, our increase in transportation costs are going to be about $300,000. But it could have been a lot worse if Durham didn't agree to go to the CPI, and we would have to go out to bid for all of our routes. So I am thankful that they were able to do that. We are going to secure another equipment lease to increase our buying power so we can buy the technology and facilities, things that we need for next year's budget. All departmental budgets decreased for next year. This model is the least impactful for students, staff, and programs. This is the budget numbers for next year. The general fund, it's $39,592,000. The taxes increase, the tax burden for that is $25,917,000. Our special revenue numbers, they're just an estimate. The actual numbers do not come out until May or June. We're always told to budget about 75% of what we received in the prior year. Our debt service is pretty even from last year. There's a little bit of a decrease, and our total budget is $44 million. This is a tax increase of 7.82. We're able to use a healthcare adjustment. There's only a few reasons that you can go above the 2%. One of them is being for increased healthcare. We did not use the full amount of our healthcare adjustment. We used a portion of it. When we met with the budget committee, we gave several scenarios of what each level would look like. We gave 2%, a 6%, a full, which would be, I think, close to 9%. And we kind of landed somewhere in the middle. It's not ideal, but in order to continue with the programs that we've all been used to, and this is kind of where we're at. This is just a breakdown of the percentages of what the local tax levy makes up about 65% of the revenue. The state aid is about 28%, and then the other, which is we have some tuition in students with interest and some other things like that. This will be presented. If it's approved tonight, it goes and it's due to the county office by Friday. And then there will be a public hearing at the April board meeting, which is on the 27th. Again, I wanted to thank the administration, the board committee for your time on this budget. Is there any questions?
I had a question.
Yep.
With the taxes that we increased last year, well, they voted for it, I didn't. How did the senior cap affect what we wanted to bring in than what we actually brought in? Do we have like that numbers?
That doesn't involve us. I think that's just on the town level.
Okay.
We still get our what we raised at 5% last year, and we still get the total amount. Who pays it and how it's divvied up. If there's a senior freeze, you said?
Yeah, I thought that would affect, like, they
does
don't
not.
have to pay the 5%, they only have to pay the 3%, meaning that we wouldn't get that 5%
No,
from that demographic.
we still get it.
So the state buffers that then?
I believe possibly the other taxpayers. I mean, we still get our total amount. Nothing changes based on that.
Let me just
Okay.
jump in. The senior freeze, seniors still pay the full amount of taxes. They get reimbursed from the state
Okay.
the difference between 1 year and the next year.
Okay.
So that money is still available.
Flowing in. Okay.
Exactly.
I wasn't sure how that worked, so I was just questioning. Thank you.
Any other questions?
And we're gonna propose to raise it 7.83%.
Yes.
At the governance mandatory training, now I'm assuming that the first names that you said are the people who went over and devised this, because it said you're supposed to take last year's budget and go step by step through each entry. But that's already been done by those few people, it's not done by the board.
So it's done by a budget committee. So we have the budget committee. I put the slide back up. Those are the people,
I
those
saw
are
it,
the board
okay.
members on the budget committee.
Okay, so they're the only ones involved in that particular.
Mr. Dalio has been giving updates to the full board regarding the budget committee when we meet. He's been giving notes on that. So yeah, they meet as a budget committee with the administration to go over the budget, and then we talk about different scenarios.
Because it said that's the most important thing that the Board of Education does, is the school budget. The most important
Yeah, I mean, it
thing.
drives everything, yeah.
And who's on the administration team for the board, for this committee?
The ones that actually meet with the committee, I
Yeah.
mean, we all meet as an administrative team. All of the departments are in charge of their own budgets. But and then we meet when we have to make cuts or we have to kind of get into the meat and potatoes of it. It's Dr. McCooley, Dr. Frasca, Dr. Clark, Karen Kenny, Marissa Elwood, myself are on the administrative team. And then some of us met with them at either time, depending on their availability. It was always Dr. McCooley and I.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
I just don't want those poor people to get blamed for our taxes going up. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
You're doing a really great job. I know you're given what you're given, and for us not to have any corrective action plan for, the audit and stuff, kudos.
thank you. There is the one finding. I don't want to say there's no
Yeah,
corrective
but,
action plan.
we had
But
that last year,
actually,
too.
just to comment on that, we've far exceeded our expectations for this year. I believe that the state was, and I tried to talk to the auditors about this, the state was backed up in paying us, and we got an influx of that semi-revenue this school year. So that won't be an audit finding
Yeah.
next year.
Well, it's nice, because when I think we had Nick Brown, we had like 4 unauthorized payments made, and we owed the IRS $115,000. So it's
Yeah.
pretty good. Good for you.
Thank you. I'm not gonna comment on that, but
Yeah,
I
I know.
appreciate your.
I'm still not got my answers, but
Gotcha.
it's okay.
Any other questions?
If a board member wanted a copy of the budget, could they get that?
We should be given that. I mean, I don't understand why we're not given that.
It will be available on the website after tonight.
Yeah, we'll get it the day
No, I was
before
just
next
gonna
meeting
say,
to vote for it.
You should be able to, even though there's a committee,
Yeah.
and the idea of having a committee is to go through the discussions. Sometimes it's difficult to do it with more than the 4 members, because then you have a quorum, and then you have to advertise the meeting, and et cetera. So that's why we have a committee, but there's no reason why individual board members shouldn't be able to take a look at the budget
Sure.
and certainly have input from themselves.
It will be available on our website, and I can send that to everyone.
And to piggy off Mrs. McVeigh, I feel like maybe we as a board need to discuss not having a committee for the budget meeting and us doing that all as a board together, because not only is Eagleswood being left out and Bass River, I mean, they should have their say too, because people vote for them for you know, their constituents. And no offense to, again, the senior members of the board, but without Crystal and Dave, it's like the same people over and over again on the budget committee. I mean, I asked to attend a meeting to learn more about it, and Mr. DeLeo totally kiboshed that and wouldn't let me leave. I mean, let me attend, so.
You couldn't attend, because that would
Yeah,
create a
but you could
quorum.
have stepped down like Mr.
That created a quorum, that
Hewitt.
created a quorum, and that's exactly, so don't gaslight people, please.
I'm saying Mr. Hewitt, when he
Yeah.
was president, was nice enough to say if someone else wants to join to not be a quorum, I would gladly step down, but I know you don't like to do that, and look at where we are.
I
That-
can speak as one member that's been on the budget committee. I did everything that I could possibly do to make sure that student services were protected and the least amount of taxes were raised. To think you're never going to raise taxes when the state aid doesn't keep up with the increases in healthcare and other costs, salaries, it's a difficult situation. And as long as school budgets fall on the backs of taxpayers, it is going to be a difficult situation. I wish there was another way that schools were funded. And it's going to get to the point where it's not tenable. We cannot keep doing this. I suggested at our budget meeting, and I would like to recommend this to the board, that before next year at this time, we have a discussion with the board about the budget and take a look at things and see where we think we could spend less money and recommend that, rather than it be a budget committee meeting and we're under the gun. We don't even get the state aid numbers until 10 days before the county requires that the budget be up there. But there are some really hard things that we can look at, short of what affects our students, that I think we need to be looking at it on an ongoing basis, where we can save money.
Administration.
So I would highly suggest that, especially during the summer, when our agendas may not be as busy as they are, we could take some time and take a look at the budget and make some recommendations.
We
Because
should do that at the board retreat.
We can't keep doing this.
We're too admin heavy for 2 schools, 6 to 12, to have a superintendent as assistant superintendent, 23 secretaries that cost us $1.3 million plus benefits and reimbursement, travel galore, but our kids can't pass a simple test. And then next year, we're not gonna have Chromebooks for everybody. Why? Because we're admin heavy. Because we're paying for $16,000 for vinyl window wraps for family friends.
I think it would be good for the rest of the board to see the scenarios that we were presented with as far as, if we, at 8.81 or 8.7%, whatever the number was, exactly what still will be cut from the budget, even going up to 8.8%. What would have been cut if we went down to 6%? I mean, we looked at a list that
Want me to
had.
read it to you?
What's that?
Want me to read it to you? What would have been cut?
I mean, you could read it. I don't have it in front of me,
But
but
what
I'm just
would
saying,
be-
I think it would be good for the rest of the board to see that like this budget, as we sat and discussed everything, this budget is not without cuts. It's not without sacrifices. We even discussed, as Betty Ann just talked about, in the fall, having the budget committee looking at expenses as the school year is going to see where we're
Yeah.
spending things and just trying to be as fiscally responsible as we can.
But
And-
keeping admin as they are, or cutting things for students?
So
and
I have very
facilities?
detailed worksheets on how I come up with all of
Yeah,
the
but we're
numbers,
not
and they're-
given that, and then we're told to vote on it.
You can come in to
Well,
look
that's what
at it
I'm
if you'd like.
advocating, that
I
you
mean, there, I
get the
have these, I'm
opportunity
not
to
coming
see
to the
that.
board office.
I'm
I'll
advocating
come to
that
my
you get the
office.
opportunity to see
Yeah,
what
that's
is
what
on
I'm
this
saying,
list.
like, this is stuff that we should be meeting in executive and seeing word for word, instead of just being like, you have to vote on this. And then we have to go in blindly, like they're expected to do all the time. And then we have the same three, people over and on the budget committee, when our policy says it should be new people every year. And maybe some that don't have great financial backgrounds. Someone who, maybe runs a business, maybe someone, a math genius, or, someone with some experience. Not just the same people. And then no one considers like cutting admin whatsoever. But we're gonna cut stuff for our students. Let's
Not to
benefit-
interrupt you,
let's
Ms.
benefit
Johnson.
admin and friends,
We did
but
meet
take
on the
away from our
17th. Excuse me,
students.
I want to say something too.
All right, well, you cut me off.
You can continue talking. It's not the
That's fine.
Johnson
Use your
Show, like
gavel.
you sometimes like to say.
Use your gavel.
It is not the Stephanie Johnson Show. It is the Pinelands Regional Board of Education meeting.
See, this is
So we
everything.
did, and you continue it, you just continue. Amanda, I'm sorry that this is going on, but there's some good points that were made here. In the committee meeting, I did want to put out as much information so the board members could see it, because they don't get that much detail from what the board members work on. So I gave as much out, and when you made up those minutes for me so I could supply it to the board, there's only so much we can give the full board.
Right.
Okay, because the committee is there working in good faith for the board. And I can tell you, like Betty Ann said, we worked tirelessly. On the 17th, we got all the numbers, we got the scenarios, and we were still $1 million plus in the hole. So we requested that you go back and do cross-the-line cuts. That's not going to impact the students, not going to impact our programs. And we met again on the 20th, and then there were some substantial cuts made that didn't impact our students. And we agreed upon the percentage that we can present to the board so they can look at it, and that's your opportunity to vote. But no, we did take it seriously, and we did not want to impact teachers, and we did not want to impact the students or programs.
I just want to say that I advocate looking at every line item, and I think we need to do that collectively as a board, so everybody's voice is heard, but you can't do it under the gun. You can't do it in 10 days' time, deconstruct the budget, and put it together and reach the guidelines that the state and the county requires. I sincerely think this summer we should sit down as a board, take a look at the budget and have questions answered, and take a look at where we can save money, because we can't sustain these kind of increases along with the Little Egg School District, the county budget, the Little Egg Harbor budget. We can't keep doing this to people. We've got to figure out a way.
Ms. McVeigh, I agree with you 100%. We should all sit down and go over it.
Before I even thought of being on the Board of Education, it was never in my mind. And I went to the concert, and I looked at the bulletin, and I came from a school district about the same size as this one. We only had 2 administrators, the principal and the superintendent. And I saw this whole list and I said, oh my gosh, you really need that many people. Now, I don't know what their jobs are, but the point is that other schools have survived with, and there's a lot, you know, to consider in that. But anyhow, that was my opinion when I first saw it. When it's just a voice that opinion.
Thank you, Ms.
We
Grasso.
did consider all departments when we were making cuts, and all of those things are confidential at this time, so it's not something that, you know, we give out a list of what things are going to change for next year yet in public. So, is that all?
Okay, anyone have any more questions?
I'll just come back if you do.
Thank you, Amanda. All right, moving on to work session. Board forum. Anyone like to speak from the board?
Yeah. So to piggyback off of the budget issues, I had quite a number of things that I wanted to discuss at the last board meeting, so that didn't transpire, but I just wanted to go over and just read out some numbers from our October presentation. And this is what gets me frustrated as a board member. So based on the presentation from October from Dr. Frasca, and using her numbers, we had 239 students in the same 7th grade ELA state testing, right? So 239, 160 students did not meet expectations. Only 79 students met expectations. For 8th grade, 244 students, 132 did not meet expectations, and only 112 did. For 9th grade ELA, 240 students took the test, 129 did not meet expectations, but 116 did. So ELA is not horrible, but it's not great. For math, 7th grade, 241 students took the test, 188 did not meet expectations. Only 53 students out of the 241 met expectations or exceeded. For 8th grade math, 184 students took the test, 178 did not meet expectations, meaning only 6 students met expectations, 0 exceeded. For Algebra 1 in middle school, 62 students took the test, 30 did not meet expectations, 32 met expectations. Algebra 1 high school, 133 students took the test, 120 did not meet expectations, only 13 students did. Geometry, she didn't give the numbers, but 86 students took that test, and I think I researched 67, don't quote me on that one, I'm sure they'll pick on that one. But this, as a board member, is what gets me frustrated when we have a supervisor of math, a supervisor of English, a supervisor of this and that, and then we have all this admin, and our students can't even pass the state test. And they'll give you examples and be like, well, Galloway doesn't pass either. All right, great, I don't care about Galloway. I'm only worried about Little Lake Harbor. And then it's, well, it's COVID, it's this, it's that. Everything excuses of why we're here, not how we're gonna fix it. So I would like to focus on how we're gonna fix that. I suggested a while ago that we should have a student achievement committee. That was turned down because we have the SALT committee. The SALT committee just does policies. So, you know, I could talk till I'm blue in the face, and I've said this before, and I'm sure I'll get this in another lawsuit. But if your team is not performing, you need to fire the coaches. We don't need a dean of students. I asked
Ms.
for-
Johnson, you're talking about individual coaches now. I mean, you fire the coaches, you can't talk about them.
I'm not,
You're gonna
I
fire the
said, as an
coaches.
example, if the team is not performing, you
Even
fire
if
the
you bring that up,
coaches.
you don't put these people under the gun like that. You don't say things like that.
I can say that, and I just did.
Why don't you
This
move
is-
on?
Okay. Dean of Students, I asked a while ago, can we have a report of how this new position is working out? It doesn't seem that our disciplinary records are going down. They seem to be getting higher. So I'm asking, can we see how the Dean of Students' job, is it worth it? And what are the benefits of having it? Or is it not working and we need to just go back to not having that? I would also like a report on the WIN, or the independent time, and how that's successful in 7th and 8th grade, because I just hear it's a debacle.
Could you, Stephanie, excuse me, what was that? The independent time? I didn't hear that.
The WIN,
Okay.
like last year it was called WIN, but it was
Yeah.
just the study hall, but now I think this year, like, the students that need WIN go out, but then it's regular independent time.
Okay.
So, you know, is the WIN working for those students? Because I feel like independent time for 7th and 8th graders is just chaos for teachers. I also had a question about grant monies and who's in charge of spending, who keeps track and oversight of that money.
That would be me.
Okay, for all the grants?
There's the people that write the grants. And
Yeah, that's
they-
Dr. Clark, right?
And she writes some, Dr. McCooley has written some, so it's there, and Dr. Frasca also writes some, and Marissa Elwood, I don't, if I missed anybody. And then they put what they want in the grant, and if it's awarded, then the expenditures from the grant, we kind of work together in collaboration with that.
So what grant paid for the golf cart?
That was the bipartisan mental health.
That was for mental health?
It had a bunch of things in it, but it was primarily mental health.
Wow.
Attendance.
Okay. So grant for mental health bought us a golf cart for facilities
Not for facilities.
personnel to
Yep.
use?
It's
For
not
who?
for facilities.
For students to use?
The students are transported in it a lot, and our administration that was working on mental health or attendance on both sides of the street can use that to go back and forth as well.
Oh, great.
And it's actually street legal, so they can pick up students that are absent. If they needed to take them home, they could do that as well.
Really? We want to pick up students in a golf cart and bring them back?
Some of your other points
is
too,
so
I would like to
ridiculous.
address for ELA. We are definitely glad of the growth that we've been making, but of course, we want to still improve in that. For math, that has absolutely been our focus this past year, and we have implemented some things in the junior high with pilot programs, working with the teachers. So we're looking forward to those scores this year. The Dean of Students is grant funded, but we can absolutely give a presentation next month of all of the amazing things that she does every day. And then the win time, there's really not much to report. It's just a scheduling thing for the junior high that we have to have a study hall, otherwise we'd have to hire more teachers to do some type of elective.
Yeah, but didn't we cut down class times for English and math?
Yes, and because of that, there's an extra period in the day, so that has to be a study hall. If it was an actual class of instruction, we would need more teachers.
So we cut instruction time from math and ELA to make a study hall, so we can't pass test scores.
We cut
That's
time.
really ingenious. Another concern of mine is merit bonus, and this is something we could research as a board. If you look at the New Jersey School Business Association, and if you talk to other superintendents, the merit bonus was something that was added to contracts when I think it was Governor Christie capped the pay of superintendents. That is now gone. So for us to pay an additional 3.33% for someone who's making almost $200,000 a year plus benefits and reimbursement and travel and cell phones and stuff like that, to do a job that she's supposed to already do is a lot of money that we should not be paying out. So if we ever think about renewing a contract, we should definitely see about taking that out, because that is money that should be going to our school and our students, and not to someone who's doing the job that they're supposed to be doing already. I know that was a lot, but no one else talks during board forum, so I figured I'd use up the time.
On on the paper that they put out for the budget committee, and where it says cuts, it actually says math. Is that a mistake? Under the
Oh,
cut.
it's not a cut. So there's things that we took out of the regular budget and we're putting them into a lease. So I wanted to just be clear with that, so that's what that is. There's a math curriculum program that instead of paying for it in the general fund, we took that out and we're gonna pay it
So
out of
when
a
it says
lease.
cut from budget, you put into a lease agreement, okay.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
We did toy with the idea, if we went with a lower percentage rate of cutting a math teacher.
Why? Why would it have to have been a math
Cut
teacher?
a math teacher.
I
Yeah,
mean,
let's
it was
fail
in the-
even more
it
and
was
cut a
in the-
math teacher. Oh my God.
Why a math teacher, though? Why specifically a math teacher?
Now, maybe I'm wrong.
You may have read it wrong.
I think it's a mistake.
I think it was not a math teacher.
Right.
I think that's what the thing meant, but I could see how you would misread it. I think that note meant not a math teacher.
Did you see this page?
When it
This
said-
one.
I thought that was the,
Look back to.
Another thing we should
the whole
consider is
justification.
hiring pay.
Yeah, because there's a
Should be
couple
on-
things there
on
that were
par.
confusing because their notes
You shut
meant not to.
You're so unprofessional.
Why can't I find it now?
Just
I
because
have
you want
myself
people to
a
like
mess.
you, so
Hang
you pay
tight,
them
peeps, I'll
higher.
find it.
Need some counseling.
It was a meeting we just had, a handout from Amanda, the meeting of last week. The 19th or 20th, I don't know if it's Thursday or Friday.
We met Wednesday.
Wednesday and then Friday.
Yeah,
I think it
at
was, I think it was Friday.
It was on.
It says here, if we went with the 6% plan, we would have to cut freshman sports, Pinelands experience, cut another math teacher.
So, if you were, it does say, cut another teacher, and in parentheses, math, dash, scores low.
Which is just why we wouldn't want to do that.
But, and I think if you look below, when it says cut clubs, honors class, cat eye musical, that was all stuff that wouldn't be involved in the cut. So I think that was the math was referring to not a math teacher because of the low scores. I just think that that paper was a little confusing, how that chart that you made, do you recall this, if you want to see it?
Yeah, we worked on that as an administrative team.
I thought we went over that the parentheses were stuff. That-
Possible additional changes.
Yes. I mean, I could be wrong, my misunderstanding at the meeting.
Cut another math teacher. I'm not sure how to take that any
Well, it
other
just says
way.
cut another teacher, and then the parentheses around math scores low, I think is a note that meant we wouldn't cut a math teacher. As I'm saying, I think it's just written confusing, but I thought that's what we had
So
discussed.
I read it differently because.
As well as the parentheses under cut clubs.
We have Pinelands experience. So these are, to me.
I mean, they're going to cut, the potential was to cut another teacher, but not from math. It was just written confusingly.
Well,
That's how I
it
read it. I
doesn't matter
could have
because we're
been
going with,
mistaken.
you guys want the 7.83% tax rate anyway, right? So is it
Because I didn't want to cut another math teacher.
Yeah, 'cause
I
it's
didn't
a-
wanna cut
so it's a
freshman
moot
sports, and I
point
didn't
or
wanna
mute
cut
point,
Pinelands
whatever you say.
experience.
Moot, right? I always say my husband's wrong
think
with
that
that,
was
but I guess he's right. He'll be glad to hear that.
I think it's interpretive, and we may interpret it that differently.
It's on the record too, right?
I appreciate your input.
Okay, moving on to new business. Old business. Residents former, agenda items only, board policy 0167 encourages community participation in every meeting. However, the board requests time limit when commenting on agenda items. Anyone from the public like to speak? Seeing no one. Instructional. Recommend motion to approve instructional items A through C. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? I'm gonna go a little slower through this meeting, just to make sure everyone hears it. Okay? All right, hearing no questions, roll call, please.
Miss Betty?
Yes.
Miss Grasso?
Yes.
Mr. Hewitt?
Yes.
Miss Johnson?
Yes, but a note for no if the paraprofessional is Thomas Wyatt for the special education. It wasn't a list of who's there, so I would say yes, unless Thomas Wyatt's on the list, then I would say no to him.
Noted.
Thank you.
Miss Patty Martin?
Yes.
Mrs. McVeigh?
Yes.
Mr. Vaux?
Yes.
Miss Crystal Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Dalio?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Personnel, recommend motion to approve the following personnel items A through P. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
It should be, I'm sorry, there was it's Q.
It's Q? Okay.
It's A through Q. I think
Okay.
there was a,
Make a note, A through Q. I have a motion, but I didn't get a second, did I?
I didn't hear the motion.
I have
Are
a
you
motion.
on personal now?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a question about,
Just a second. I think we have to have a first and a second.
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we have it
Ms.
in a
Johnson, you
second.
first?
Yes.
Thank
We have a first. Ms. Johnson was first. Anyone like to second it?
I'll second.
Thank you, David.
A second.
All right, now it's open. Any questions? Ms. Grasso?
You can ask all the questions you want.
Okay. I
You
went
might want to speak into the mic so the whole world can hear you.
Oh, yeah, okay. No, I went through everything trying to figure things out because there's a lot there that I don't understand, okay? So, there was something that I did come across was, I know it was a grant for $2,500 supposedly paid for the garden coordinator. And then the stipends, now, they already got money, but they had left over. There's no other way that that money can be spent but to give it to add additional to what the person already got?
So originally, it's for the Special Olympics grant. Historically, in the past many years, the stipend amount has been $1,500. There was a decrease originally in the grant amount, so the 4 advisors agreed to take a lesser stipend amount, so they agreed to $1,000. They did end up getting money in addition later on. They put some of that money to restore their original stipend amount, and the rest of the money is going towards additional activities for the students.
Okay. Black Seal, I understand that you need someone who has a Black Seal so they can open the door.
Correct.
That was another $1,300. Do we not have people already that can do that? Did we have to add another person onto that list?
It's a requirement in the union contract that all maintenance and custodial staff have the Black Seal. Both buildings need to have it for to be open, to be occupied, and we don't. Sometimes there's only one custodian or maintenance person here on a Saturday. So if that changes, it is in our best interest to have every person that can possibly have it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So to piggyback off of that question too, every custodian needs the Black Seal?
Yeah, like whose contract is that?
Yeah, 'cause I
All
mean,
the
Is it
custodians.
the contract Pinelands rights, or?
It's the union contract, so all of our facilities, except for the manager and the supervisor, are in the union contract. So it's a union contract item, that they get their boiler's license, the Black Seal, and then they get the additional pay for that.
So, I'm sorry, a union contract.
For
So-
every custodian?
And we
to
have
get
to,
that?
we have to abide by that?
It's our contract, yes, it's our union contract, and all of our custodians and maintenance staff are covered by that contract.
Who writes that contract?
It's the Pinelands Education Association.
Okay.
Yeah, my concern is we have a facilities manager who's making 90-some thousand. You have it, McCooley has it, Frasca has it, every custodian under the sun has it. As far as daytime, we're open during the school year, during normal hours. I don't know why every single custodian needs it. I could see weekend or night, but that may be something we need to look at for the contract that, it's costly. And then we're gonna pay for it and then they go somewhere else.
We also,
Amanda,
there's
real quick, which is a good point. How many people really need it? I mean, is there a reason why we have so many to have it?
yes, because there's people that we have put out overtime. There's times when the building needs to be open that no one is normally scheduled. So in order to put that overtime out, it has to be, the person that takes it has to be covered under the Black Seal. The reason that Dr. McCooley, Dr. Frasca, and I got it is because there were times that we had some staff turnover and there wasn't enough people to open the buildings, especially on a holiday or some of those Mondays that the school is closed.
Okay.
And we wanted to have that option that we could open the building.
And we used it one time, you did it, right? For
Uh,
us,
we've
for
used it,
volleyball?
yeah.
Yeah, one time. Which I
Once you-
I
once you-
appreciate
we don't
you
get
doing
any
it.
additional money for
I
it.
understand
But once you
that,
get
but-
it and you go through the training, it doesn't, it
Then
costs.
why do we have facilities managers and then supervisors with their, to come in and do it? Like, everybody lives in town.
The
Like,
buildings
we're gonna-
can't be open unless someone has it. We have
Yeah, I
two
get
buildings,
that.
they
I
have to have
understand
it.
that aspect
So
of it. I just don't think you should get one and you should get one and let's
it's
cut
a part of their contract that they
Pinelands-
get it.
experience because everybody needs a Black Seal.
Anyone else? Roll call, please.
Do you have another question?
Can we just
Sorry,
repeat
go
what
right,
we're
go
voting
right ahead,
on?
Ms. Martin.
Which, this is, we're voting
She wants to know.
9A through,
Q.
We're still in
Through
9?
Q.
9 is personnel flow. And then it's A through Q. They added, something last minute.
There was something else in, I don't know if it's personnel. Yes, it is. Under the amendments, oh, excuse me, you're hiring a physical therapist at $90 an hour. Down further, they have a substitute. That's a different pay for $80 an hour? Okay.
Substitutes are typically paid less than other employees.
Okay.
Any other questions? I'm sorry, that would be.
No, I was making sure.
Yeah.
Patty, no more, nothing else?
no, okay.
Okay, all right. Okay, roll call, please.
Sure. Miss Betty?
Yes.
Ms. Grasso?
Yes.
Mr. Hewitt?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
A through G, yes. H, no. I through J, yes. K, no. L, M, yes. N, no. O, yes. P, no. Q, no.
Miss Patty Martin?
Yes, except N, no, O, no.
Noted. Mrs. McVeigh?
Yes.
Mr. Vox?
Yes.
Ms. Crystal Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Dalio?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Moving on to harassment, intimidation, and bullying. Recommend motion to approve the following HIB item A. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call?
Miss Betty?
Yes.
Ms. Grasso?
Yes.
Mr. Hewitt?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Abstain.
Ms. Patty Martin?
Yes.
Mrs. McVeigh?
Yes.
Mr. Vox?
Yes.
Ms. Crystal Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Dalio?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 11, operations. Recommend motion to approve the following operations A through I. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Are there any questions?
I have a question. Are we able to appoint a committee to review the legal fees for Wiener or Werner, what is it? Wiener Law Firm and Mr. Edelstein and Mr. Marinish? I know he is handling a couple of this Office of Administrative Law complaints that I have against Ms. McCooley and Ms. Frasca. We originally agreed to indemnify him for like $400 and some odd for the 3 prior ones, and this one now he wants $175 per hour. I think we might need to have someone be additional oversight for his billing hours.
Well, can I ask a question, and it's along the same vein? Didn't we just vote no at the last meeting for this?
Yes, we did.
Why is it on the agenda again?
Because I think they're adding Miss Frasca now, and they didn't specify the complaint number in there, so this is for C1125.
I appreciate your input, but I guess the
Yeah.
answer needs to come
Yeah,
from this
sorry.
side of the table. I thought our concern last month was that Mr. Edelstein, is that his name? Is the attorney for Dr. McCauley and Dr. Frasca in their lawsuit against you.
Correct. Their civil
And/or the board,
lawsuit.
depending on who says what.
Yeah.
And this law firm is the firm that Mr. Edelstein works for. So it seems to me that we're just voting on the same thing again. And we already voted no last month, and our attorney said he would speak to Mr. Edelstein because he thought this was unethical and not a practice that should happen. Because it is difficult to distinguish between billing hours if somebody is having a conversation about two different cases, but it occurs in the same phone call. So I don't know why we're voting on this again. Why it's on the
I don't think
agenda.
we should be, because Mr. Donio did say that he was
And
going
he
to
has,
address it.
not to cut you off, Mrs. Martin, he
Well,
has.
let her speak, because she did.
Yeah,
go.
I know, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
He never speaks.
Are you done?
Yeah, he did say that he was going to contact him and discuss it with him. And I'm assuming because he's not here, we're unable to hear from him.
It just needs to be a different attorney. It can't be the
Correct.
same attorney or the same firm.
And I emailed the business administrator and the board that this morning, Mr. Edelstein put in his response for this complaint already for Ms. McCooley and Ms. Frasca, even though I notified the School Ethics Commission that he wasn't approved to do it, so we should not be billed on that. So that's what I'm saying, like, we need to make sure he is conflicted. First of all, Mr. Donio said he was going to speak to him. He has not. So I'm going to assume that we're going to have another attorney talk to Mr. Edelstein and be like, you got to pick one or the other. The civil lawsuit against Ms. Johnson for $5 million each for me, my husband, and Ms. Frasca, or the 4 ethics complaints for all 3 of them, because you can't pick and choose. And if you did Google Mr. Edelstein's name, he's, you know, maybe there's an article about some political donations that his law firm had to pay.
None of that is
So,
here or there.
I'm just saying,
We already
like-
voted on this once. I
Yeah.
don't know why it's on the
So
agenda.
you would have to
again,
talk
is
to the
my
people who
question.
make the agenda, which is.
Amanda, can you said you want
Yes.
to say something?
Mr. Donio did speak with Mr. Edelstein. And the motion is different from last month. Last month, it was just a general. This one does indicate a case number. That's.
And it's not just Mr. Edelstein, it's the Wiener Law Group, so it'll be a different attorney.
But it's still the same.
He's the only one handling it.
That's not,
I'm sorry,
I didn't say anything yet.
It's-
I
We're
didn't
not saying
interrupt.
it can't be
unethical, it's
indemnified. We
unethical.
should just say no to Mr. Edelstein Wiener Law Firm and find yourself a one that's not conflicted for the ethics
First off, it's not a
complaints.
conflict, that's, leave that
But,
aside for
all
a
right,
moment.
so Donio was saying there was a conflict with my personal attorney handling my ethics charges and the one that I had for a question. So, I mean, I
You're
appreciate
assuming I know a
your-
lot more facts than I do.
I know. You're just kind of
I'm just saying, get another.
thrown into
attorney.
it.
Get
Yeah,
another
just,
attorney. You
we're
don't
not
have to
going to
use the
deny
same firm.
indemnification eventually, but get a different attorney so there is no conflict. But there is a conflict.
Excuse me?
We do have to
It
vote
is
on it.
item I in operations. Yes.
But can you explain that?
You do
You're
yours.
assuming I know some facts here that I don't know.
Okay, Mr.
No,
Edelstein.
no, no,
Okay.
let me hear from somebody else.
I'm just saying, no one
I know, you
talks
like
and
to
I have
talk,
the
I
facts.
got it, I got it.
Facts, but whatever.
Somebody tell me
People
what the
do
problem is.
talk, though.
No,
People
I
do
know, I'm
talk.
sorry,
We just,
I'm
we make
dying
our
at-
points
I'm
and then we
chomping.
move on.
Okay.
Someone elucidate the issue for me, how's that?
So Dr. Frask and I hired Mr. Edelstein to be our personal attorney in a lawsuit we filed against Ms. Johnson for her years of harassment. Then, when she filed an ethics
Alleged.
complaint, alleged, when she filed an one of many ethics complaints against us, we preferred to use him for the case because he's already has familiarity with it. Now, Mr. Donio spoke with him because he was under the impression there may be some type of conflict because if we're using him as our personal attorney to sue Ms. Johnson and he is representing us to be a defense in an ethics complaint, they had a
Is the
conversation
defense for the whole board or just for you two?
just for us.
No,
It's in conflict.
but in the lawsuit, it's me as an individual and in my capacity. So the board.
It's irrelevant.
No,
And our
it isn't,
insurance
because-
company
No,
is
no, it is
identifying
relevant.
her
You're
for
giving
it.
legal opinions.
But
It's
the-
irrelevant.
But the insurance company is paying out, and who's on the insurance but the board?
Well, and I also think it might be irrelevant to our attorney's legal analysis. But I mean, I do think as a board, we can still find it a little
You find
muddy
it troublesome?
and
Is that the word?
troublesome.
There you go.
Troublesome is a good word, to be paying
Yeah.
that law firm while they're also suing a member of the board in their capacity as a board member.
Correct. And
But
So
they're
I
not-
think, I
but-
think the problem is you keep saying conflict, which
Yeah.
has a
Negative
defined
connotation.
legal,
No, it's
a
a
defined
defined
legal
legal reason.
definition
Exactly right.
that isn't exactly correct. And that's, I think,
Yeah.
where the disagreement is. So I think,
My conflict is that in 2018, we paid Mr. Edelstein for his services for an audit. So now he's,
We
you
did
know-
not. That was Mr. Bentley. It wasn't 18. It was not Mr. Edelstein.
Oh, Mr. Bentley, who did the third-party investigation for your 1550.5?
Guys, I'm sorry to interrupt.
If I could bring the conversation back to my
Sure.
original question, is we voted on this issue. It might be stated different on the agenda this time, but we voted on this issue last month, and the concern still remains. Our attorney advised us it was an issue. I think collectively, we thought it was not a conflict, but muddy, troublesome, and why not just get another attorney? Period. Another attorney from a different firm, and then there'll be no conflict when it comes to billing time as to what they're representing. What are they talking to you about? What questions are you asking? It just seems black and white to me. Get another attorney from another law firm.
Again, maybe I'm being much too technical in this. With all due respect, I prosecuted ethics violations. I defend lawyers all the time on ethics violations. This is actually one of the things I know about. We're using the words, and I'm not saying intentionally, but you're using words of art in a non-artful sense. So what is a conflict is not really what's at issue here. The fact, I think one of your questions is, if the same lawyers do two different cases, how does he bill for his time? How do you break out a phone call that may cover more than one subject? At least that's one of the issues.
I'm just using that for an example,
Okay, well,
but I
that's easy. I
truly
do that all the
believe it's
time. You bill it
impossible to
separately.
do both and do it correctly and do it fairly.
And
That's
the-
how I feel.
and the-
Just get another attorney.
And the thing too is,
Is
Mr.
the carrier
Edelstein.
doing this, paying for this?
Mr. Edelstein is also representing her spouse.
So the carrier is
So
paying it,
if
we
they're
got to choose
talking
him, and
about
that's the
Mr. and
rate.
Mrs. McCauley together,
Yes.
one should be billing to the district and one should be billing to her own pocket with the respect of her husband suing me also. So that's why water can get muddy, so.
I think we're looking for advice from the board attorney for the
I don't think you're
board.
gonna get it.
That's what we're looking for advice for, not
I
necessarily.
gave you my advice, just nobody likes it.
Excuse me?
I gave you my advice, nobody likes it. Which is your privilege, that's okay.
Why-
I'm telling you, there's not an ethical violation here. Period.
Mr. Donio says there is.
Well, I don't know what he's.
He said he had to speak to him.
He said there was a perceived conflict.
He said.
Is there a perception? I'm not
He
arguing that.
said that it was unethical and it was a problem, and that he would speak to him to let him know that.
Well, then the real,
Not to debate the issue with him and come back and put it on the agenda
then the
again.
answer is, I don't know what Mr. Donio has done. I accept that he talked to him. I have to talk to Mr. Donio.
That's why I
Has-
don't think we should be, I don't think this should be on the agenda until
but it
we hear
is.
from Mr. Donio.
But
So you-
I mean,
you
I
have to
am in
vote
agreement
on
with
it.
Betty Ann, it's like, I do completely see your point. It's just, it's on there, and the board can vote, and if the board says no again, it's done.
Can
There should be
we,
another attorney in that situation.
can we put a motion to add a resolution to take that off or no?
Just
Well,
vote
we can
no.
just vote no
Just
for
vote
it.
no.
Well, yeah,
Just
well,
vote
I
no.
can't vote, but yes, you guys can, but
it's-
I can't
it should,
talk
I
about
don't
it.
think it should be on there. I don't think it should have been on the first time, and it was added at the last minute onto the agenda and almost snuck by me. And when I saw it again this time, I was very disappointed.
It was added on very last minute. So. You're preaching to the choir, man. I get it.
I don't know. We'll just take a vote on it, I guess.
So before we move on to a roll call, is there any more questions? Roll call.
Miss Betty?
Everything else, yes, I know.
Ms. Grasso?
On this particular issue, that's I, no.
And what about the other items?
The others in that group, okay.
Mr. Hewitt?
No to I, yes to the rest.
Ms. Johnson?
A through H, yes, but B, I have to recuse from PYJSBA using facility time. And then I have to recuse for McCooley, no for Frasca.
Ms. Patty Martin?
Yes, except for I, no.
Mrs. McVeigh?
Yes, for everything but I, no.
Mr. Vox?
No to I, yes to the rest.
Ms. Crystal Martin?
No to I, yes for the rest.
Mr. Dalio?
Yes, same, no to I, yes to the rest.
So items 11A through H carry. Item 11I does not carry.
Moving on to number 12, report of the Board Secretary, Business Administrator. Recommend motion to approve the report of the Board Secretary, Business Administrator. Items A through L. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions?
I have a
a question on the grant acceptance, J, $40,000. I love that we're getting grants. Is there any more information specifically? It says STEM lab grant, what that entails?
So I actually got a phone call from someone from Atlantic Electric in this grant, and they said that somebody at Atlantic Electric nominated us because of our demographics, and they're giving us $40,000, and it'll upgrade the STEM lab that currently exists in the junior high. So they'll get to get new robots or whatever it is they want in there.
Exclusively equipment, no stipends.
No, just equipment,
They're
yes.
actually just giving us the equipment, not giving us, we're not buying the equipment. They're
Gotcha.
just giving it to us,
Mhm.
$40,000
Thank you.
worth of
Yeah.
equipment.
Congrats on the grant.
Correct,
then.
Dr.
Any other questions?
Is Danielle Nutt a certified special education teacher?
All of our teachers that are in their positions are certified.
Roll call, please.
Miss Betty?
Yes.
Ms. Grasso?
Yes.
Mr. Hewitt?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
A, yes, except no to Patty Wraps and Hogan Security, recuse from Cleary, Jacoby, and Wiener Law Group. B through F, yes. G, yes. H through K, yes. L, no.
Miss Patty Martin?
Yes. For all except on A, no to patty wraps.
Mrs. McVeigh?
Yes.
Mr. Vox?
Yes.
Ms. Crystal Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Dalio?
Yes.
Motion's carry.
Informational items, monthly attendance, monthly discipline reports, and security drill. Moving on to number 14, Residents Forum, general topics. Board Policy 0167 encourages community participation in every meeting. However, the board requests that the public respect a 3-minute time limit when commenting on any topic. Anyone from the public like to speak? Seeing no one, moving on to board forum. Liam, you have anything to say? No? Okay, thank you. Ms. Martin?
The play was absolutely wonderful, and Dr. Bakula, you had mentioned in your weekly update about Education Magazine wanting to highlight the school district, which I think is wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. Ms. Grasso? Was there
I'm
anything to
learning
say?
there's a lot of work to be done. And, no, the play was, the children are fabulous, absolutely fabulous. Everything about the play was, it made me nervous though, because being a teacher, the teacher yelled, "Shut up," and that didn't sit well with me. And then the bullying, I knew the story, but but the kids did a fabulous job, a fabulous job.
Thank you, Ms. Grosso. Ms. McVeigh?
Thank you. I'd like to congratulate the junior high girls basketball team. That's phenomenal. Excited for them and their future. Our new humanities club, what a great, great thing. We all need to know more about civics and citizenship, and delighted to see that. I'd also like to just say a couple quick words about the play. I thought it was one of the best things I've ever seen. That's how delighted I was in watching it. I'd like to commend Mr. Chuck Miller and the DeFrancias for taking a big swing and not being afraid to take a big swing. There were a lot of little comments made about doom and gloom when it was announced that it was Carrie, and what a phenomenal production, talent, everything. What a great lesson for kids to learn, to not be afraid to take a big swing, because you just never know. So congrats to everybody. Keep up the good work. I love that spirit of excellence that our drama team puts out there. We all need to reach for those levels in what we do.
Thank you, Ms. McVeigh. Ryan, have anything to say?
No, I was going to talk about the play and the basketball team, but that's been covered, so nothing else at this time.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Mr. Hewitt?
Yeah, just again echoing the congrats to the basketball team in the middle school and the high school basketball team as well. And it's great to hear that we had the student that participated in the 8th grade dialogue. Really just great to see the humanities club going and the students involved in a lot of research and a lot of writing, a lot of creativity there. Our drama department was able to perform on Monday. There was about 16 young ladies that performed at the New Jersey School Boards Association Women's Leadership Conference, and that's a really great opportunity for our kids. So it's neat to see Pinelands being represented in so many different areas. It's a really awesome thing.
Thank you, Mr. Hewitt. Ms. Johnson?
I'll piggyback off of what, oh, that's like the word of the day today, piggyback. What Mr. Hewitt said about the basketball and our choir and stuff. No, I don't really have anything else to say except for, I forgot to mention this in board forum, but August, I think you should resign as board president. Have a good night.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Crystal? What? Oh, my God. See? Thank you.
Dibs.
Sorry, Lisa.
He forgot me last meeting, so he was just
I was
really
making sure. I
making sure
forgot
that
her
it gets
last
me
time.
this
I
week.
didn't want to forget her this time.
I
Thank
don't
you.
have very much original to say. The basketball teams, the girls and the high school, the humanities club, that's awesome. That's just gonna, I skimmed the paper. I'm looking forward to reading this. And I think it's a wonderful thing to be done. The play doesn't need more words. I know, everything that they do here, play-wise, is just amazing. I'm always blown away and surprised, and the direction occasionally shocks me. But it was, again, wonderful. And, oh, and I wanted to say, congratulate Liam, who actually got to read his own name.
Thank you, Lisa. Crystal?
Thank you. Again, the play, as everyone said, was fantastic. Even my naturally contrarian husband enjoyed it very much, so I was very happy that even he could understand the greatness that was on that stage. I'm already in love with Echoes in the Pine. I think it's amazing work. As Dave had mentioned, we did have a student at the 8th grade dialogue, Amelia Busby. I attended. She was fantastic. Dr. Frasca and Mr. Shore were also both there, and Amelia did an absolutely fantastic job representing Pinelands. And
everyone should try to go to one. I know Patty Martin, she convinced me to go this year with her words about how great it was last year, and
We need to host it one year. We do. We need to host it.
yes, it's really fantastic.
Phenomenal.
Thank you, Crystal. Yeah, all I have to really say, you guys have already spoken, so I just want to thank the Budget and Finance Committee again. You know, there's a lot of difficult decisions. I know the admin team, business administrator, Nick, and everyone who's in attendance really worked hard on trying to meet the expectations of the committee. And I believe that most people in the room, you know, wanted more cuts, but this is the best solution to try to come to. So staff and after-school programs were not touched. And then I think that was the utmost decision that came out of that. And I really appreciate your time, especially the 3 meetings in 2 and 3 days. So I really do appreciate your time. Thank you very much. So we do have a need to go into a second executive session where action may be taken. So I need a motion to adjourn public.
Read what it's for.
I don't have that with me. I don't know what you were going to write. It's going to be, how would I even say that? Because I didn't write anything for it.
Don't we normally say what,
Well, this is for, you can put it, personnel matters?
there we go.
Thank you very much. Can I have a motion to go into executive?
Motion.
Second.
All ayes?
Aye.
Any nays?
May I just make a point? I'm not sure, Stephanie, that you can
Yeah.
make that motion because you can't stay for executive. So I would.
Well, I could stay for part of it, so we could,
Just
Yeah.
to make sure we're on the up and up,
yep.
I believe maybe somebody else should make the motion. Motion.
Thank you.
You second?
I didn't say.
I'll
Miss
second.
Betty said it.
Oh, my goodness.
Second is.
I'll second.
All right, let's do it again. All ayes. Aye. Any nays?
No, I guess.
Abstentions.
Recuse me,
Thank you very
whatever
much.
you have to put me down for.